The boardroom was alive with tension, but the man at the head of the table didn't notice. Jonathan Blake, CEO of Titan Tech Incorporated, leaned back in his leather chair, a smug grin plastered across his face. "Nobody can fire me," he boasted, arms crossed, chest puffed with arrogance. His words dripped with entitlement, echoing through the sleek glass walls of a skyscraper office. The room was full of senior executives, their expressions a mix of discomfort and quiet frustration. For months, they had watched Blake mismanage the company, ignore warnings, and humiliate employees publicly. Every complaint, every misstep, had been met with laughter or condescending remarks. Yet here he was, daring anyone to challenge him. "Seriously, Jonathan," muttered Rebecca Chin, the CFO, adjusting her glasses. Her tone was measured, but beneath it was a simmering anger she had kept bottled up. "Quarterly losses are up 23%. Employee turnover is an all-time high, and yet you keep saying everything's fine." Blake waved a dismissive hand. "You worry too much, Rebecca. The numbers look fine to me. And honestly, this company is mine. I make the calls." His eyes scanned the room, daring anyone to contradict him. Nobody did. Not yet, but behind closed doors, whispers had grown into plans. The board had been patient, enduring his ego-driven decisions and public humiliation of staff. They had hoped Blake's arrogance would self-correct, but it never had. Now, the moment had arrived. Blake stood abruptly, pacing the room. "I built this company from scratch. I've taken risks, made bold moves, and look where we are today. Titan Tech isn't just surviving, it's thriving." The truth was far from his claim. Employees were exhausted, projects delayed, and clients frustrated. But Blake's confidence was unshakable, or so he thought. A hand raised in the back of the room. It was Marcus Hill, a board member who had remained silent for months. "Jonathan, we need to discuss your recent decisions. There have been multiple incidents of mismanagement that have cost the company millions." Blake smirked. "Incidents? Please. Everything I do is calculated. If anyone here thinks they can do better, I welcome it." The tension was palpable. Rebecca exchanged a glance with Marcus, a silent signal that the moment had come. All the suppressed frustration, all the humiliation the board had endured, was about to reach a boiling point. Minutes passed in heavy silence, punctuated by the soft hum of the air conditioning and the distant sound of traffic in New York City below. Blake finally turned, eyes blazing with arrogance. "Are you all seriously considering questioning me? I am the CEO. You—" "Enough," Marcus interrupted, his voice steady but cutting through the room like steel. "We've been patient, but your behavior cannot continue. Your arrogance has cost this company more than you realize. And today, we're going to hold you accountable." Blake laughed, thinking it a joke. "Hold me accountable? You're joking, right? I built this company. I am untouchable." Rebecca stood, her hands trembling slightly but her voice clear. "Untouchable? No. You're blinded by your ego. Every decision you've made has put this company at risk. We have evidence, financial reports, employee complaints, client losses. It's all documented." Blake scoffed, still smirking, certain the board would never have the courage to act. But they did. Slowly, deliberately, the board members raised their hands, one by one, until majority had voted. The air in the room shifted from tension to shock. Blake froze mid-sentence, his confident grin faltering. "Wait, what is this?" he stammered, eyes darting around the table. "This can't be happening. You can't do this." Marcus leaned forward, his voice calm but commanding. "It's happening, Jonathan. The board has voted. You are officially removed from your position as CEO, effective immediately." Blake's face turned pale, his mouth open and closed like a fish out of water, unable to form words. The arrogance, the condescension, the smugness, all of it crumbled in front of the very people he had mocked for months. Rebecca's eyes blazed. "You humiliated employees, belittled your executives, and dismissed every concern. Today, the consequences have caught up with you." Blake looked around desperately, trying to find an ally, someone who could reverse this. But all he saw were faces of satisfaction, eyes reflecting justice long overdue. The room seemed to shrink around him. Every chair, every window, every polished surface became a mirror of his arrogance reflected back at him. His own echoing thoughts were louder than the words of room. I am not untouchable. I am powerless. Outside, the streets of New York carried on unaware. People hustled along sidewalks, taxis honked, and a street performer played jazz on a nearby corner. But inside the glass-walled skyscraper, time had stopped for Jonathan Blake. He had been king of his corporate castle, and in one unanimous motion, he had been dethroned. The board called an HR and legal counsel immediately. Blake was escorted from the office, the glass doors reflecting his stunned expression. Employees who had endured months of ridicule quietly watched from the open-plan workspace, a mixture of relief and vindication on their faces. News of the board's decision leaked instantly. Industry publications ran headlines. Titan Tech board votes out CEO amid arrogance and mismanagement. CEO overconfidence ends career overnight. Blake's smug persona, once admired by some, became the punchline of corporate gossip. But the personal humiliation didn't end there. Internal emails, previously ignored, now became public within the company. Complaints from employees detailing Blake's condescension, mistreatment, and blatant disregard for advice. Staff who had once feared retaliation now shared their stories openly. The man who had said, "Nobody can fire me," had been fired by the very people he thought powerless. Rebecca, Marcus, and the rest of the board ensured that the transition was smooth. A new interim CEO was appointed, someone who had earned the respect of staff and clients alike. The company's culture began to shift immediately. Collaboration replaced fear, accountability replaced arrogance, and employees felt their voices mattered. Blake, meanwhile, was left to reflect on the consequences of unchecked ego. No wealth, no connections, no bravado could undo the lesson he had learned in the span of a few tense hours. His public image was tarnished, his authority nullified, and the once untouchable CEO had become a cautionary tale in the business world. And as for Titan Tech, the ripple of justice had a long-lasting effect. Morale soared, client trust was rebuilt, and employees felt empowered for the first time in years. The lesson was clear. Arrogance without accountability is temporary, but humility and respect forge lasting authority. Marcus Hill later commented during a press interview, "No one is above responsibility. Power is only meaningful when wielded with integrity." And today, Titan Tech proved that even the most confident ego can fall when it oversteps. Inside the company, whispers of Blake's downfall became a story employees told for years. How a CEO's overconfidence led to his public undoing, and how courage, patience, and integrity can outmatch even the most arrogant figure. And just when it seemed the story had concluded, a new opportunity arose. The board's decisive action caught the attention of a larger tech conglomerate looking for strong leadership. Rebecca and Marcus were contacted to consult on a major acquisition, an entirely new chapter of power, strategy, and accountability that would test them in ways they hadn't imagined. But that, of course, is a story for another day.